flowing through our sitting in the bleachers in the rain. We've shed a million tears and drank as many old style beers out at the game. Let's go Cubbies on Ranto
with Michael,
Son Ranto
and Crawley,
Son Ranto and the lovable losers. Son Ranto
with Michael,
Son Ranto
and Crawley,
Son Ranto and the lovable losers. Son Ranto.
Oh yeah, baby! Welcome to the Son Ranto show after yet another Cubs series win over the Red Sox. Lyle Akers is supposed to be here, but he is too embarrassed to show up because he lost his bet. But then he won it again because I went double or nothing on the sweep like an idiot.
But you know what? They should have swept. It was embarrassing. It actually ended in a tie. So I believe that still counts as a sweep, right? Like they didn't lose.
No, they lost. They lost today in a clown ball fashion.
Fly the tee. That's all I have to say.
No, unfortunately, that's not how Manfred likes it. But I want to welcome everybody. I'm Danny Rocket. I'm the host of the Son Ranto show, along with the other host of the Son Ranto show, Michael Cotton. Lyle Akers is supposed to be here, but as I said, he is too embarrassed because his second place Red Sox just lost to the actually third place Cubs right now. This show is brought to you by our 108 Patreon supporters. That number seems lower. It is because some of you guys are getting your credit cards declined. I don't know what's going on with your finances there, kids, but take care of your business.
Well, I know exactly what's going on. So you sign up for these things and you put in, the month and date, thing when your credit card expires. Your credit cards are expiring if so please go in, check your accounts, and just see if you're one of the people that expired, and then you'll remember, oh yeah, I'm supposed to put this on a new card, and please put it on the new card so that you continue supporting us. We would really appreciate it.
Yeah, hell yeah. And we appreciate it so much that tonight being the first show of the month, happy July, everybody. It is July 4th weekend. We're celebrating I don't know, freedom, huh? But here we're. I'm gonna.
It's a little.
Yeah, it's not a great fourth, but we are going to be giving away a David Ross bobblehead to one of our Patreon supporters right now. And by the way, Jim Henry, a real person. It wasn't Jim Hendry spelled wrong. Found that out.
Nice.
So here we go. Let's click. Let's click to spin and see what we get. Who's going to be the lucky winner of the David Ross bobblehead for the Patreon prize of the month? Round and round she goes. Where she stops, no one knows except the wheel of names. And the winner is Art Wojnicka or Wojnishka. Wojnishka.
One of the Russian bots that support this podcast.
Yeah. No, long-time listener of the Son Ranto show. And I will also say that we are giving away a couple things today, including a Frank Chance postcard that I will send to you in the mail. So please comment in the chat, hashtag Chance with a capital C, and you can win a Frank Chance postcard sent from the Steve Goodman Post Office on Irving Park Road, right just north of fabulous Wrigley Field. And I also want to thank, just before we get started, everybody that came out to the Bleacher Bum Band show. I had so much fun. It was a great show. We had Bernie Barron came out. She was at, I'm not going to say everybody's name. Jim Canavan came out there. We had Roberto was there. Captain Cubbo. Joe Kilgallen was. I mean, I'm not going to say everybody. Even though
let's hope that there are too many people for you to name. But you sent me a photo of one very specific person that I thought was amazing. Was there because he was honestly one of my boyhood heroes back in like 82, 83. Like I remember chanting his name at the at the ballpark. Do it with me, Danny.
Jody.
Jody,
And
Jody,
Harry singing.
Jody. Yep.
Jody Davis. Well, there he is. Yesterday, he came over there with Stuart McVicker. There's another person to name with the Club 400 crew, and he was Jody Davis came in. And here's the thing, he came in at the end of our set, and then somebody goes, "Oh, Jody Davis is there," and Jeff had already broken a string. And I'm like, let's do an encore real quick. He's like, I can't. I don't have a string. He's like, how about we play Fuck the Cardinals? Because he only plays guitar on that. He goes, I'll use your guitar. So he used my guitar, immediately broke a string on my guitar. But he got through the set, and we played Fuck the Cardinals for Jody Davis, who was jamming out so hard to that song. He came up as soon as we were done, gave us all a big high five. I mean, like you said, like, dream come true from being a kid.
And look at him. He looks great. He's 20 years older than me, 18 more than you, or 19 more than you. I mean, that is a good looking. I can only hope to look that good when I'm that age. I mean, that's amazing.
You already don't look that good.
I know.
and you're 20 years younger than him.
But the way I look at it is I have 20 years to hit that standard that I'm going for. I've got dreams, Danny.
Yeah, well. It was a lot of fun. Thanks to everybody that came. That was freaking blast. But we didn't talk about the Reds series at all. I think we should give it a little bit of short shrift because like it feels like a really long time ago. But the Cubs did take 2 or 3 from the Reds as well. They're 4-2 on the week. So
I did want to point something out here, Danny. I mean, the Cubs won that series, then they won the Red Sox series. So I kind of feel like winning series now is just the stock standard for how they're doing it. Anybody who's watching the show can see I've got a Wrigley Field marquee with home of the stock standard written on it. So
yeah, what that Wikowski or whatever his name is. What a jerk.
Yeah, what a douchebag.
Yeah,
20 years old or something like that. And
I guess it's a stock standard stadium. I'm like, dude, it's like one of the oldest places in the major leagues. Like, what do you mean stock standard? Doesn't look like any other stadium in the entire world. Maybe he was considering like the visitors clubhouse or something. I don't know why, but either way, you never say that about anybody. Now just everybody's going to hate you, and then you lost and sucked.
If he was smart, if the Red Sox had been smart, they would have left him in that stock standard visitors clubhouse.
Well, he didn't pitch that bad, but so the Cubs they beat 2 or 3 from St. Louis, 2 or 3 from Cincinnati, and 2 or 3 from Boston. So that's 3 series in a row that they've won. And I'm like, who the hell are these Cubs? They're not supposed to. They were going to lose 100 games. We thought we might see those Cubs show up later in the week when they go out to LA, but we'll see. Those trips never tend to go well. You know, those Milwaukee to LA road trips.
Those
make a lot of sense. Yeah. So
that Midwest Coast swing.
I did want to talk a little bit about the Reds series, only because of this. The Cubs lost 5-3. They won 8-3. And then they won 15-7, a game in which they had 23 hits and Max Schrock pitched. So I was looking out, and I was talking to Sarah Sanchez the other day about blowouts and how annoying it is that these position player pitch in almost every single, twice a week now. It seems like and so I'm like, well, why are there all these blowouts? So I actually looked it up, and they call a blowout win on Baseball Reference only 6 runs, and I don't think that's a blowout.
Well, I think that's a blowout. If you win by 6 or more, that's definitely a blowout at the end of the game. And I think the rule is you have to be at least down by, is it 6 before you can even bring a position player in?
Yeah.
So maybe that's why people
don't really do it at 6 though, because it's really easy to put up a 5 spot against a position player. So if you're only winning by 6, and all of a sudden you got like Andrelton Simmons out there like giving up two home runs, like Max Schrock did, for example, gave up 5 runs.
or like the Cubs pitchers did, and the Reds stormed back to have the score. So it was like 15-3 or 2 or something like that, and then they scored a bunch of runs in the last couple of innings.
Ended up with 7 in that one. But what I want to talk about in this is specifically blowouts. So I made it more that it was like 10 runs or more. Okay. You know, I put it into the Baseball Reference, the machine, the search machine, and I looked up like how many blowout games decided by 10 or more runs by year. So I went every 10 years. So there were 40 games in 1982 that were decided by more than 10 runs, 63 games in 1992. See now, and then 87 games in 2002. So there you're getting into steroid era with that stuff.
Right, but still, that's an amazing. Doubled in those 20 years.
Doubled in those 20 years, and
it's not like only half the teams were doing steroids. Literally, everyone was doing the steroids. So
yeah, and then 61 games. It went down in 2012 after maybe the steroid era was ending. Then, but this year so far, there's already 43 games. There were 40 games total in 1982, 43 games already this year. We're not even halfway through the season. And there were 100 games last year decided by 10 or more runs. So I think that's more of, I don't know if that's a position players pitching, because at the end of games, you're adding on a bunch of runs. And then what might have been an 8-run deficit is now a 15-run deficit or whatever it is. And then on top of it, you got tanking teams. So they're just like not competitive teams playing each other as well.
Well, yeah, you have tanking teams. You have managers who are just willing to give up a game. I mean, I don't think that was a thing back in the 80s. Like the early 80s was
too
like
proud.
Yeah, they were too proud to do that sort of thing. And then it's like it's also the situation of these starters don't ever go deep into games, right? So if you're only going 5 innings, then you're always using 4 innings worth of a bullpen. Anytime you have a game that you're kind of out of it, you feel like you want to bring in a position player to save your bullpen a little bit, because you know your starters aren't going to go deep anymore. You know, and so back in the day, you get into a blowout game, you have plenty of relievers still in the bullpen to work that game, because your starters used to go 7-8 innings every single night.
Yeah, that makes it. And so you got a lot of things going on with, I think, those numbers. But I think the thing that's annoying me more, and they have to do something about it. Like I was watching part of I think it was Pirates and Brewers the other day. It was a huge blowout. The Pirates got killed like 19-2 or something like that. There were 2 position players for each team. Like the Brewers did that bullshit where they had a position player on the mound as well, even though they were winning, because they're saving their bullpen too. Why not? We already racked up but that
right there should be illegal, right? That should be illegal, because like, I get it. You're getting your ass handed and you are now basically forfeiting the game, but you can't just shut the game down. You can't be in the 7th or 8th inning and just say, "No, we're not playing anymore." So you put in a position player just to get through. You're losing. That's your choice. But if you're winning and then you do that, I think that should be illegal. That seems disrespectful to the other team.
Yeah, it shows you up.
It seems disrespectful to anybody at the game watching. Your fans.
It's a joke.
Like
it's a freaking joke. And I like what I don't know who Facebook user is, but they wrote, not only more position players pitching, but these guys are making no effort to be competitive. They're throwing lob balls. What happens to say the shortstop coming on and throwing gas? Because like that sometimes used to happen too. What
happened to John Baker coming out there and ripping 73-mile-per-hour fastballs out there?
I think he threw all off-speed pitches, in fact, but I think that's what he said.
Didn't they? I think they told him how to hold the seams on the one pitch he was going to throw, so it would do weird stuff.
Just so he could throw some junk. But during that wild Max Schrock game against the Reds, Bleacher Jeff, I was out at that game, and Bleacher Jeff got another baseball. And he even they talked about him on the, I think he got BJ Higgins homer.
Every time I see another picture of him, he looks more and more like he's on the Muppet Show.
Yeah, like as a Muppet, not like Bleacher Jeff on the Muppet.
Yes, no, more and more like he's got somebody's hand up his ass.
Well, you know what I've been calling him Cartoon Jeff because he like literally is a caricature of a guy that he accidentally created by sitting in the left field bleachers and getting drunk every day. Yep. But this is hilarious. So there was a scrum for the ball. He came up with it. There was he just went over there with his glove and look at the guy. There's Jeff with the ball in his hand, and then this other dude is flipping him the double birds. It's so good. And then I love this picture so much, just flipping him the double, like, fuck you, you got it. And I didn't. And then, and then the other thing that happened in this game was Pham, who he had been giving hell to all game because he's being a little bitch. He like complained about the fans and had the red shirts come over and yell at some people over in Terrace Reserved. Like I was sitting in the Bartman seats and some guy was handing it to Pham out there, and he had like, we don't want to kick you out, but you got to really relax there, buddy. He wasn't like barely doing anything at all. It's just like, Pham, you suck. Like, and that was enough. Pham, I think he complained, but so we're giving him hell because Pham, of all guys to be a little bitch. First of all, he slapped Jock Peterson, who he likes, so over fantasy baseball. Which is
fantasy football, I think.
Oh, it was football? I thought it was baseball.
Maybe it was.
Yeah, I think football. That sounds more right.
I feel like they don't have enough time to play some fucking fantasy baseball. That shit's like, maybe they do. Yeah, they have some time sitting around the clubhouse in the daytime, but it doesn't matter. Fantasy sports are not worth smacking anybody over. Too much drama for that shit.
So, and it was a fantasy sports league that Mike Trout was actually the commissioner of, and apparently he's a terrible commissioner because I think I don't play any fantasy games, but from what I understand, that Jock's move was a little underhanded, is what I've been told.
Look, I ran a fantasy football league for like 11 years. It's the most thankless, worthless bullshit you'll ever do. If anybody wants you to be the fucking like commissioner of a league, just say no right away. I thought, oh, this would be fun. I'll get my friends together. These are my friends. These are people that I've known for like my whole life. And these motherfuckers are fighting and arguing and calling me on a Sunday morning. Like, I got to change this guy out. My fucking phone doesn't work. It sucks. So, you know what? I feel bad for Mike Trout in this situation because, who knows if he's really a bad commissioner or if he, like every other fucking normal human in the world, just got pissed off as like, fuck you guys. I'm not going to handle it yourself, Tommy Pham and Jock Peterson. Like, quit bitching.
Yeah, this is funny. Written in the chat, Pham slapping people over fantasy football. Shocking, he got stabbed at the club. Here's a guy that got stabbed at a strip club like during COVID. Like it was June of COVID. Like everything shut down except for the one strip club where Tommy Pham got stabbed in San Diego.
It was, I remember this. It was really early in the whole COVID thing in 2020, and technically he should have been staying in game shape because they didn't know when they were going back. Everything was up in the air, and this dude's out getting stabbed at a fucking strip club.
Yeah, exactly. So then he ended up on the IL, I think, because they'd started a little bit right after that. So anyway, we're singing Pham slap.
In a stabbing, you don't come back from the stabbing. Like that's not a day-to-day injury.
Yeah, no, you gotta heal that one. So then we're giving him all this shit, and then he ends up hitting a home run. And he hits a home run, and this guy, he falls over, catches it. He's right in front of me. Falls over, catches this ball. Or maybe he just dropped it. Picks it up and immediately understands. Everybody's like, throw it back because it's Pham. He took one look at all of us, panicked, and sprinted out of the ballpark. Like, did not for a moment. And so somebody did throw a ball back. I think it might have been Ball Hawk Dave who saw what was going on.
Well,
Who's
Ball Hawk
watching
Dave
right
is
now.
in here, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Facebook user is Ball Hawk Dave. So, so anyway, but I think it was him that threw it. Somebody from the street threw it because this ball came flying over this video board. I'm surprised it made the field. Like somebody, whoever threw it, had a good arm. Yeah, it was hilarious. That dude panicked. It just was like, like I don't want to throw it.
Just so people know, you will get chanted at. Throw the ball back. But if you don't throw it back, nothing happens to you. Relax. Like, just don't worry about it. In fact, if you refuse to throw it back, someone will probably give you some like Target rubber baseball or some shit to throw out just so it looks like you've thrown a ball out. Like, yeah. I personally would throw back an opposing team's ball, the actual ball. That's what I would do. But
even the regular bleacher people keep dummy balls so they don't have to throw the other one back. And then some of the times those come out there, they're like little league baseballs. They're made of, they bounce. Like,
yeah.
Somebody threw a plum once. Like, it's just like none of it's real. But anyway, so that's all I really want to talk about the Red Series. They won it. Pride Night was cool. The hat actually looked better in real life than it did, and
in the picture,
it looked like crap in the picture, but it looked cool in real life. And I don't know, it was kind of fun to be out at Wrigley because you're out there winning, and I saw a couple victories this week, and it was new and different for this team.
It's an odd thing, but yeah.
But let's move on to the series that Lyle lost. So here's what happened. Lyle and I had a bet that I would have had to wear a Cardinals hat at a Cubs-Cardinals game at Wrigley Field if the Cubs lost, and he was going to have to wear a Yankees hat at Fenway if he lost the bet. Well, he lost the bet, but then we went double or nothing today on the sweep, which means he would have had to go to 2 games wearing a Yankees hat at Fenway Park. And I was like, you know what? I'm playing with house's money. Let's see what happens. And the Cubs almost won today, and they should have won.
Yeah.
I mean, both teams should have won many times. Like the combined, when we can work backwards in this, if you want to
right. Poor Keegan Thompson gets like a 47 pitch inning because Morel lost that ball in the sun, and they just couldn't put the shit together in that 4th inning.
Yeah. And they couldn't. I mean, the umpiring was kind of bad. They were complaining about it on the radio. I was listening on the way down. I'm in Cincinnati right now. If you can't tell, I'm not home right now. But they were complaining. Kumdog said the ball sucked.
Yeah, I was watching, but it looked like to me, and kind of the way JD was saying, like they were borderline pitches. They were pitchers' pitches that they should have been getting, and they just weren't. But it seemed pretty consistent across, both. It's not like, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be an umpire report card that tells us which team was favored or not because of 1 or 2 specific pitches. But in general, it looked to me like the umping was at least consistent. And that's really all I care about, because it's a little hard to get all those right all the time. But if you can at least be wrong consistently, the players can figure it out, or they should be able to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm looking at ump scorecards right now, and that one's not out yet. But I will take a look at it. I'm curious to see what it was. But the Cubs lose 4-2. Keegan Thompson did pretty well, and both teams though combined 3 for 34 runners in scoring position.
God,
2 double plays for each team as well. So that got ruined a lot of innings.
It was a slow game.
4 hours.
Because I mean the bases were just full all the time for both teams. Like there was just guys on all the time. And so I was in the middle of the game. I took the dogs for a walk down, and I was out for like an hour, and it was like an inning and a half or 2 innings. And Kumdog was pissed about I think the Japanese, it was possibly the Japanese pitcher, because he was like slowing the game down even more.
Sawamura, who took 2 innings, right in the middle of the game after Seabold went out after 4.
Yep, I think Coomer had a date. I think he had shit to do. He had a dinner to go to, and he was just kind of like, this guy's walking around like, Hap's standing in the box, and this guy's walking around, not even looking at the mound. Yeah, it was funny.
Even 11, I mean, it did go 11 innings, but that was not all about the 11 inning part of it. It was a slow game, and I was glad because it kept me entertained the entire way from Chicago to Cincinnati. But 20 hits in this game combined, 9 for the Cubs, 11 for Boston, 11 walks, 5 issued by the Red Sox, 6 issued by the Cubs, and so it was.
David Elliott writes, how many infield singles for the Red Sox today? 7, not exaggerating. Yeah. And I think Keegan Thompson had 6 infield like weak ass hits that just the defense. This was not a great day for the defense. They just didn't look great, and they couldn't pull off, really anything on these.
Well, Morel catches that ball playing second base, and they got him all over the field right now. And so he's not quite as used to that Wrigley sun, which can be really tough at this time of year. And so that ball went up there, and then Rivas tried to help him out.
Oh, and then poor Rivas gets a fucking error because he tried to help.
Then they took the error away, though.
Oh, did they take that error away?
I think they did.
I hope they did, because that wasn't fair at all. I mean, he was trying to cover for him at the last second.
Because they gave him an error, and then I think they took it away. Yeah, the only error was Wick's throw at the end of the game that wrecked the whole game. So, but still, that drop ball that allows a run to score right there on that play, and there's your problem, and it caused a run.
The inning keeps going. Yeah. Keegan Thompson. This happened in. Didn't he pitch in that? Did he pitch in the first Reds game? And he gave up. He had the one bad inning, right?
Yeah,
that was Keegan Thompson. Yeah, so
it was
okay. So going back,
lost.
Going back to that Reds game, same sort of situation here. Keegan Thompson seems to be a very good pitcher, but this is what I've noticed in these last few starts. He can get into his head. And when he does, he struggles out on the mound. So in that Reds game, there was they stopped the game for a video review.
Yeah.
And it was a bullshit video review. And he was doing fine up to that point until he stood there for like 5 minutes without throwing a pitch. And then he had to go back in there. And all of a sudden they could hit him. And they got like 2 runs off him or something.
And that was enough.
And then, of course, Ross sent his ass back out there in that game after it was clear that the kid, I don't think he was too physically tired. I think his brain, he just couldn't bring himself back in. So then skip up forward to today. There are issues in the field, right? He's not getting the outs that he's hoping to get, that he thinks he's going to get. And I think he's just struggling with that. Now, he's a young guy, and I mean, shit, he's a rookie out there trying to pitch, and that's one of the hardest things to do, is just to be able to maintain the focus. Yeah. It's hard for hitters, pitchers probably more than anybody, because they're literally every single ball is theirs. So,
yeah. So, and there was a bad call on a swing too that I think would have been a strike 3 situation. I know Coomdog was mad about that he swung, and then a run got walked in after that. So there was just a lot of bullshit scoring, and the Cubs couldn't do anything with runners on.
Well, and when you say a lot of bullshit scoring, it was 2 runs. Yeah. It just felt like a lot of
it felt like
because there's so many guys on base all the time.
Well, and then there was that, I don't know why. I mean, this bothered me too, just because he was out probably. But Wilson, the double steal with Wilson getting thrown out at second base, and yet Hap. I mean, I know you're trying to stay out of the double play. I get it. But you know what? Hap doesn't swing at a strike, takes a pitch. Did he miss a sign? Was that supposed to be a hit and run? You're trying to score 2 of those runs. Maybe, you displace the fielders but Hap didn't swing. And I'm like,
and it was a strike, like you said.
He's a strike.
He should have been fucking swinging at it regardless.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if he he hits the ball somewhere, and I don't know.
Wrigley was rocking when Wisdom hit the Wisdong hit. That was exciting. Tied it up in the 8th.
He freaking crushed that ball.
Crushed
Like
it.
on the TV, I could tell. I'm like, oh, that was it.
After getting knocked down on his ass too. He got knocked down on his ass, a ball at his head, and then he crushed it right after that. And Wick got through the 10th, okay, but then he threw that one away in the 11th. And I mean, Wick's not good. Wick's just not good. But Wick,
so yes,
burning the candle at both ends with Wick.
Yeah, I'm sitting there, I'm watching the game, and I was just like, do I really maybe I will watch this last inning, because I generally turn them off when they go to clown ball. I'm like, I'm kind of invested in this game right now. Like, maybe I'll stay in. And then they come back from commercial break, and it's like Rowan Wick out on the mound. I'm like, I'm shutting this fucking thing up. I am not watching Rowan Wick pitch. And then to find out that he actually made it through the 10th, and they sent him back out there. It's like Ross was just like, well, you haven't fucked up yet. You may as well keep going out.
Well, you got the Brewers, and then you go to LA. I mean, there's just no days off right now. So who knows? The problem with the pitchers not going deep into the games. We'll talk about these other games. I mean, first of all, let's work backwards, because Alec Mills pitched to one batter or two batters, and then after 7 pitches was out of the game, went 0.1 innings, got a strikeout.
Okay, hold on.
Gave up a hit, and then his back went out.
We are going backwards. Did you want me to end that segment for today's game with I had to bust my ass to write this one before the show, because of course it just happened today.
It's a fresh poem. It smells like fresh poem.
It's hot off the presses.
Okay.
Cubs poem 79. Chicago 2, Boston 4. So many pitches in the 4th. Keegan gets pulled, of course. No help from the sun. Cubs defense is kind of dumb. Bullpen holds through 9. Wisdom ties it. Clown ball time. Game ends in a tie. Manfred Mann should die. Wick in the game for 2? Rossi, what is wrong with you?
I really, that's pretty good for just knocking that one out. No even time to edit.
To be fair, I actually did edit that. I wrote it, I posted it, and I immediately saw something else I should do, and I took it back out. But to be fair, I knock them all out like that, Danny. I don't put a ton of time in these. I don't know if you.
I believe that. Yeah, no.
Some of them come out great, and some of them are like, Dr. Seuss just took a shit.
Well, speaking of taking a shit, freaking Alec Mills went out there and hurt his back again with his 9.68 ERA that he will never get down because he can't stay on the field this year. So that really sucks, because I felt like even though he was kind of like not doing great since he came back, like you could use somebody to eat those innings, because the bullpen is freaking taxed, and then Mills couldn't do it. So you had to send Mark Leiter Jr. out there. He did well, though. 5.1 innings, 3 hits, only 1 run, 5 Ks. And then Givens
is that the
Robertson.
Key for Leiter? Is that the key? Is like you just can't have him start?
I mean, yeah. I mean, he hasn't been good. I mean, I think this is the role that he should be in, is like long man and relief, or maybe like you have an opener and then you pull in Leiter, kind of how this accidentally worked out. But this was a tight game. The Winkowski only gave up 1 earned run. Had 6 strikeouts in 6 innings. He pitched well in a stadium that he is a stock he did a stock standard good job.
He really did. No, he had a good game, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you can be in there. We have heard it from too many people, opposing teams as well. The energy, the feel of the ballpark, of all this stuff. And you know what? If you like Fenway better, fine. You like Fenway better. You don't have to fucking blow out somebody else's candle to make yours glow brighter. But to say that it's a stock standard field, come on. That's
just wrong.
Yeah,
there's just nothing stock standard about Wrigley. It's, first of all, it's like 110 years old. That's right. Or 108 years old. That's right there. Makes it not stock standard. But fuck him.
Yeah, it's got ivy as protection for the outfielders against a brick wall.
Yeah.
Not stock standard.
Yeah.
Like maybe the mound is the exact same
as all these
as other ballparks. He's like, it's still 60 feet 6 inches.
So the Cubs, they scratched out all the runs here. Wisdom, single and an error. Then Nico bunted, and then there was another error. Then all of a sudden it's 1-0. The other one was a Narciso Crook sacrifice fly. Which, by the way, he's with the team now. So
I saw him in the game today. I'm like, I was out walking and I saw his name come up. I'm like, who the fuck is Crook?
Yeah, I saw a lot of that today on Twitter, being like, "Who's this guy?"
Yeah, and then I looked him up, and he's wearing a Reds hat, and I'm like, "Wait, did they just trade for him? Like, did they get him this week?"
In the minors, but the only time he was in the majors was with the Reds. I think is what happened. I don't know. No, because it was his big league hit just the other day. So he was a. I gotta figure.
The Reds drafted him, and he's been in the minors the whole time. And then all of a sudden, but then I'm like, wait, he has been up here for 4 days.
Yeah, and
how did I not see him?
Yeah. And a lot of people. It was funny because I saw a lot of people realizing today, they're like, who is this guy? And he's actually come up and done okay so far. He's it's 2 for 7.
And what a name. What a name. We got to call this shit out because look, we make fun of, Lars Nootbaar and shit like this. This motherfucker's name is Narciso Crook.
Narciso Crook. Yeah. He's from it's a cool name. I mean, he's from New Jersey.
Somebody played Boggle, invented a new player.
So, I mean, we'll see what this guy. I mean, he's probably Seiya Suzuki is getting. We're going to talk about it in a second. What it might mean, but he's coming back to the team tomorrow. So I think Crook will be gone. But I'm most likely I wouldn't think as anybody else. But
I thought that was weird, didn't you? That they announced yesterday that he was going to return on Monday. Like, why didn't he come back for today? They really weren't trying to win the game today. That's what it felt like. Like they're just like, the whole team, we won the series. We're good. We got our meatloaf.
So, and once again, you got to hand it to David Robertson, shutting it down, who goes 1.1 innings, gives up the hit, strikes out 2, has the walk. Wasn't like a clean situation, but he's going to get traded, and this team's going to get a lot worse, but hopefully we can get something for him. The Dodgers aren't doing too well with Kimbrel right now, is what I'm understanding. And
Kimbrel he had a moment out there in LA. He was doing okay, but he's kind of falling off right now, I think.
Yeah, they're going to need somebody. So maybe David Robertson. So we're going to ship somebody out, and probably will be him. So they had the tying run at the plate. Hit the ball hard right at Ortega, though. So game over. It was exciting.
Competitive games.
I was standing out of Ballhawk corner listening to that one. Just like listening to the crowd. The crowd was going nuts. And then, game 1 was also a competitive game. Now, I thought we were going to lose this one. I was super hungover after being at that blowout on Thursday.
Hold up. Did you want the poem for that one?
Oh, yeah, poem. Yeah.
I know we're doing this all backwards.
We're doing everything backwards, yeah. So here's some music. I like this.
Cubs poem 78, Chicago 3, Boston 1. July 2nd, a stock standard nighter versus stock standard lighter. A stock standard loss for the stock standard Sox. If you can't get stock standard hits, don't talk your stock standard shit. Wrigley flies a stock standard flag for wins in the stock standard bag.
Nice.
I wrote that.
That's great.
I actually wrote that late last night because I was out watching fireworks last night and got home and then saw that dude's thing. That was done at like 1:30 in the morning, half drunk. And I was like, fuck this dude. I'm going to write a stock standard poem. I'll show him.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he's crying about it.
Oh, my God. It's Tommy Pham cried about it, but.
So game 1, I thought the Cubs were going to lose this. They were down 4-0. They came back with 3 runs in the 5th, 3 runs in the 6th. They ended up winning 6-5. They got out hit.
Comeback game.
Yeah, they got out hit. 11-6. And
Okay.
but, yeah, it was hit.
This is the game that I was puffing out my chest on, right? Because I put in the rakes, flakes, throws, and blows that in the blows was Danish and Hansel. I made the joke Danish and a Hansel name and all the dumb shit, but they did not do well. And they literally brought Danish out like bases loaded, and he walks in a run.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Hansel comes out in the very next inning, and he's got a pitch, and he
gives up 3 runs.
Yeah,
3 walks. Yeah,
and I'm over here just like, like, come on, I nailed it. I nailed it. Not only did I say it, but then they literally put these guys in back to back, and they fucking blew the whole game.
Yeah. No, you did look like a genius for that one moment, but then thank God we all forgot. But it's the first pitch of the game was hit out of the ballpark by Duran. He hit it off Sampson. Dick Mountain went out there, Rich Hill, and he got kind of hurt.
He was shutting the Cubs down until he sprained his knee, apparently.
Yeah, he hurt himself, and then what was it? Jackie Bradley Jr., who was 0 for 26 going in, he clears the bases with a 3-run double. So frustrating. And at that point, I thought the game was over. I was listening to it in bed.
I did too.
I was so hungover. And from being out there at that shit show of a game on Thursday nights, I was like laying in bed, being like, oh, like feeling sorry for myself. And then like it was all of a sudden 4-0. I was like, well, at least I could take a nap and, right now not miss anything but a crappy Cubs loss. And I guess I should buy a Cardinals hat now because Lyle's going to win this.
Yeah.
But anyway, they came back and they won this one. So that's good to see. Cubs got on the board with a Velasquez triple. Now he might be a guy that goes back. I don't know. Maybe they keep Crook and send Velasquez back. I don't know.
I think this last week has really proven out a lot of the stuff that we wanted in the preseason. When we were talking about this, when we were talking to other people from other podcasts and stuff, it's like, what do we want to see? We want to see the young guys. We don't want to see
Hayward, all
these old dudes that, and I know they're 30, but yeah, they're old comparatively, but we didn't want to see the Schwindels and and all these guys that were just, that they're not real guys, and they're not going to be there for the next, real team that they put out there. We wanted to see the young guys sink or swim, and we didn't get that. We still kind of don't get that. But now we've got enough injuries that all these young guys are getting out there, and it's proving out. It's like, God, if we could have just done this earlier. Look, they are not going to be an end of season tournament team regardless, but at least it would be fun to watch the team. I mean, I'm a little annoyed that we missed out on a month of Morel, right? This dude's awesome. I love watching him play.
He's fun to watch. He's like he's got his spark plug for the team too. He's got 842 OPS. He's batting 281. He hit a home run in this game. He had the big shot of the.
He had 3 straight games with home runs.
Yeah. So he ties up the game. It was awesome. And the go ahead run scored on a Wilson. Wilson scored it on a wild pitch. So.
Right. Oh, and Wilson Contreras. Sorry if we haven't mentioned him yet, but the guy is just he is the stalwart of the team. He goes out there every single day. He rakes. He does everything. It is so sad that we're not going to get.
Yeah, 3 walks in this game. He
was this a 600 hits, or was it the next game he got his 600?
That happens in the Red Series. Pretty sure that happened.
Oh, in the Red Series, yeah. And he wants to be a Cub, and at least that's what he says. And you gotta, why wouldn't he want to be the Cubs? He just wants them to pay him what they should pay him,
which is like $20 million a year or something like that. David Elliott,
I think I think for the Cubs especially, I think he's a $25 million guy. I think who got the There was a catcher that got a contract just not that too long ago. I think it was like 32 million a year, but it was only for like 3 years. But I would say lock him up 6 years, 25 mil. That's 150 million for the dude that should be your Yadier Molina. And as much as I don't like Yadier Molina, I know what he means to that Cardinals fan base and that Cardinals team. And I mean, Wilson Contreras is that guy. My God. And I just don't understand what it is that the Ricketts and Jed don't like about the guy that's making them not want to just keep him going.
I think they don't like him personally. I really just think that's what it is. They want somebody that maybe is. I don't know. I mean, we don't know the personnel thing of it, but it doesn't make any sense to me why it's like this. But here's a guy that's already worth 3.1 WAR, Baseball Reference WAR this year. Now, a lot of people compare what he should get in the contract is somebody like Salvador Perez of the Royals. Now, Sal Perez is getting about 20 million a year, depending on the years, like 18, then 20, then 22, then 13 at the end with the team option, blah, 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 all that crap. But, the people are saying something like that would be the optimum. And you're not going to win any games.
And if that's what his number is, if it's 20 million, fine, great, give it to him. I just feel like in my mind, I think he's worth at up to 25 million. Like,
well, now the Cubs got to compete with how many other teams? 29. Yeah, or they don't all need a catcher, but a bunch do, especially the freaking Cardinals. So get ready for that. They might just do that just to demoralize Cub fans and the team.
And they absolutely will. They will demoralize us.
Yeah,
that'll be the worst possible thing. But no, Danny, I saw that you put up David Elliott's thing there. David Elliott says Morel, Crook, Velasquez, they aren't even the top prospects in the system. The guys coming up behind them could be even more.
Yeah, that's the hope.
That honestly is the hope. Here's the fear. Those guys who are coming up, especially Morel, who is awesome, wasn't a top prospect. Horner, not a top prospect.
Well, and he's number one pick, at least.
He was a number one?
Horner was a number one pick, yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess it was just the fact that he was. I guess they just weren't ready to bring him up. I guess that was the issue with him, right? Because they kept wanting to send him back down. I guess that was my thing.
He came up accidentally. He came up in 2019 at age 22, all the way from AA because everybody got hurt. So
I understand that, but he's been good ever since. And all they've wanted to do for like the 3-4 years leading up to this is like they just want to send him down. Same thing happened with Wilson Contreras. He wasn't supposed to stay up. He came up, and they couldn't send him back down. He was too good. Schwarber did the same thing.
Let's talk about Nico. I mean, he's slugging this year. I mean, he's only got 4 home runs, but he's got 3 triples and 7 doubles out of his 68 hits. You'd like to maybe see that doubles number go up, but he's batting .312. He's got a 116 OPS plus right now, and that'll play. So he's worth 2.4 WAR. He's been, I think there's something about like the last couple of weeks last week he's hitting 500 or like no. So I listen.
Well, he's a contact guy, and he didn't lose the contact skills when he put some muscle on. That seems to be the problem, right?
Yeah.
They put a little bit of muscle on there. Like, now I'm a home run hitter. He's still a contact guy. He hits the ball hard when he makes the contact, and it's great. Yeah, I absolutely love Nico Horner. I just felt like the Cubs front office kept giving him short shrift, like kept wanting to send him down. Like, oh, he needs 8 more at bats in AAA, or else he obviously won't be very good here. And that's my issue, is that it feels like these guys that keep coming up and doing really well weren't necessarily the guys that they wanted to bring up. And that's what worries me, is like maybe the guys that they want to bring up, maybe they're not as good. You know what I mean?
Because they're not ready.
Yeah.
They're too young. The guys that they want to, the guys that David's talking about are not in AA. They're not in AAA.
Right.
They are
True.
in single A, and they're not ready.
I just really hope.
We're running long. This show's taking way too long.
I keep walking around. I keep walking around.
Minutes.
Okay, let me. How many are we really at that? Okay,
yeah, we're at 51 minutes.
Okay, I'll hit the poem and then we'll walk out for the first game. Cubs poem 77, Chicago 6, Boston 5. Red stockings in Wrigley and old Samson, seeming sickly, survived his struggles, but the boys in blue can ball a little too and turn the tide against average arms being awful. Morel mashes a monster. W flag flies in friendly confines yet another time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was a fun couple of series. So we're gonna take you to commercial break. We'll be right back. We're gonna talk about a few more Cubs things and get to the Brewer series.
All over Chicagoland, there are thirsty, frazzled, overworked Cubs podcasters who are struggling to survive one more baseball season in the dog-eat-dog world of unpaid content creation. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can make a difference. Become a super ranter at patreon.com/sunranto, where your support ensures that poor, sad, pathetic, ugly, loser Cubs podcasters can pay for tickets and beer, and in turn line the pockets of the baseball oligarch Ricketts family. Just $1 a month can buy a scorecard. $5 a month can pay for guitar strings to write a Cubs song. And $10 a month almost buys one beer at Wrigley Field. Cubs content creators are the lowest pieces of pond scum garbage that slither over the face of this planet. But super ranters help them get drunk and screw off at baseball games. What do you get out of it? The Sun Ranto Show delivered to your podcatcher without stupid advertisements like the one you're seeing and hearing right now. Plus, at other Super Ranter levels, you can get Cubs music, access to private Sun Ranto pages, the Ranter calendar, and special thanks and Ranter recognition in our live broadcasts. Plus, eligibility for monthly prizes. What does Sun Ranto get out of it? Your money. For tickets and beer. Go to patreon.com/sunranto. That's patreon.com/sunranto. And become a Super Ranter today.
Welcome back to the Sun Ranto Show. So yeah, just a couple of Cubs roster moves I want to go through. Saya's coming back. We said that. It's been forever. Jonathan Villar was completely released. He cleared waivers and
he's already playing for somebody else.
Yeah, the Angels. Drew Smiley is going to pitch Monday with either South Bend or Iowa. I don't know if that's been announced now. Stroman's going to begin a minor league rehab assignment with the Iowa Cubs. And Madrigal is now running bases, so that's good. That's part of the game. He'll be needing to do that.
Is that the equivalent of throwing on flat ground?
I believe so. Daniel Norris is playing catch, so that's good. Michael Hermosillo went to the 60-day while he had COVID, so that's not fun for him. So yeah, but he was.
Wait, he went to the 60-day while he had COVID?
They moved him from the COVID IL to the 60-day or vice versa. I think. So I don't know. So I think it was a roster thing. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up is that Javier Baez got into it with
I saw this. Amir Garrett. It is so funny that both those guys changed teams and they're still in the same division.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. Javi's on the Tigers and Garrett's on the Royals now. But I liked that Javi. This is the picture that Bleacher Nation used, and Javi like looked at Amir and made it so it looked like he had giant nuts. And he was giving him the to talk to the hand, squawk a bunch. And
yeah, and if anybody didn't see what happened, Amir Garrett, Javi was in the on deck circle. Amir Garrett gets a strikeout on a high pitch, like the ball was out of the zone. He gets the call, strikeout, and Garrett throws his arms up in the air and like looks at Javi over in the batter's circle and starts, talking shit. And so then, of course, Javi's talking shit and they go back to their dugouts. And then Javi comes back out after getting his gloves and they're still yelling at each other.
Yeah. It's a little babyish now at this point, but it seems like it's coming mostly from, I know that Javi didn't back down from the fight, but it feels like a lot of it's coming from Garrett. Like Garrett's the one that's keeping this shit going.
Yeah, because I mean, Javi was just standing over there. He wasn't doing anything. He was like getting ready to hit. And Garrett yells at him over in the batter circle. Like, what the hell is Javi thinking?
This just in from David Elliott. South Bend says that Smiley is starting tomorrow. So he's going to pitch in South Bend, actually. Good. That's close to where the Cubs are playing. Closer, anyway.
Yeah.
So, and the only other thing I wanted to bring up in this kind of section is the standings, just because we never look at them, and because we know we're not close.
It's been too hard to look at them.
Yeah. So I figured I'd bring them up. We do definitely have a chance. I mean, if you really want to feel like the Cubs have a chance, they have a better chance. Actually, these are not the standings. This is before today.
Hold on.
The standings. This is after today. The Brewers are in first game.
What I love about this is that the Cincinnati Reds don't have a logo.
Yeah, well, they're that terrible. They're just like, if you lose that many games, you're not allowed a logo.
They're between logos right now.
But yeah, the Brewers are 46-35. We're facing them tomorrow, but they're not a 600 winning percentage team. They're 46-35, and they're not that great. Well, that's what's frustrating us about this year, I think, is that it was a winnable division, even going into the season, even with their good pitching. The Cardinals in the ARP Tour, they're 8 games over 500, but, it's not that great, So, I just, it's frustrating. It comes now in third place at 32-47. If you really do have hope that you could come back. And you're not going to win any wild card. You're not going to get into the postseason thing because you got too many teams to jump over. But this is still a somewhat winnable division for the Cubs. I would take a miracle.
Now, here's the issue. Last year, we had a team with some players that were of name and could play if they put it all together. We were in first place at some point in June. And then we were one game better, I think, than the Braves at the trade deadline. And the Cubs got rid of everyone. And the Braves went on to win the World Series.
Yeah.
Whereas, so this year, we're struggling at all points. We finally made third place. And you're talking about a comeback. And they're going to trade anybody. Like, they're going to trade people we don't even know off this team. And they're starters. There's guys who have been starting for 3 weeks. We haven't even met them. They're going to be gone. So I don't know that they're going to make a comeback.
I don't have a lot of hope, but if this young team can win 2 out of 3 of every series for the rest of the year, they will finish maybe 500. And that would be possibly the best we can hope for, and might be enough for something. And I don't think it'll happen, but I'm saying there's a chance, and might as well have a chance. And speaking of chance, #chance in the chat, and you could win a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me. I did want to, there's another prize we give away together. John Vasky, what can they get for Fabian? Funny story about Fabian. I met him last night. Fabian.
Nice.
He was standing outside of Murphy's. I also have been hanging out with Miguel Esparza.
He was hanging outside of Murphy's. He was carrying his chair with him. And anytime anybody came near him, he ran out of the way.
Yeah. And I've been hanging out with him and Miguel Esparza, the Spanish language voice of the Cubs. Super cool guy. And I was hanging out with like a lot of the people from the Spanish language production team. Very cool. And Murphy's is like the place to do that if you want it, because I think they get some kind of discount if they're like got the staff badge or something. Like Murphy's hooks them up a little bit. So that's the place. Everybody knows that Murphy's is the place to be. That's no secret, But I did want to give away. We're giving away another prize today, and that is the Amazon item of the month. I forget what the last item of the month. You win Bleacher Bum Band shot glasses, a pair of them. if you win this contest. And here are the items purchased this.
Oh, the
in
person
month
from
of
last
June.
week, I don't think got a hold of you, did they?
No, they never got a hold of me. I forget what they ordered.
It started because you chose your own thing first.
Right. So it's just a mess. So, but this is what we got this month. There's actually 2 pages of this. There's 45 items that were purchased, including volumizing shampoo, fun dip candy.
I was just looking at that Fun Dip candy bulk variety.
Yeah, people buying toner cartridges, mosquito gnat barrier covers. I mean,
and that's what you need to be getting in the bulk variety is the mosquito stuff.
It's that time of year. So what we do with this is like each one of these corresponds to a number, and if you shop through our Amazon link, you will be entered to win this contest every single month. So what you got to do is just go to sunranto.com/shopping, click on our Amazon link, and then shop through there, and then buy crap that you were going to buy anyway, and then you could win this. And plus, it doesn't cost you a number. Yeah, somebody brings this up. The item 3 looks like Kenny Chesney window curtains. It's actually not. It's Kenny Chelsea.
Oh,
yeah, I looked that up too, and I was like, Kenny Chesney's curtains. Somebody's buying like country music curtains, and I actually looked the item up, and it's not what we thought.
That's $1 million idea. We'll go on Shark Tank. When you open your curtains, you get a Kenny Chesney song.
There he is. He'll just be standing there. We'll just hire Kenny Chesney.
Well, it'll be, you'll sing it. It'll be a Kenny Chesney song, but you'll sing it. I mean, we can't pay for that guy to do that.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the number picker wheel, number 1 through 45, and the corresponding number will win. Let's spin the wheel. Number 32. 32 is the winner. You know, I could spin these wheels all day and just freaking gamble on it. It's really fun to do.
They are pretty fun. And people, you should know too, the more you buy, the more opportunities you have to win.
So number 32, the winner is the Fun Dip. Congratulations, Fun Dip.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, number 32.
That sounds so cheap. That sounds like we planned this shit. That was amazing.
Everybody watched it with the rest of it. You watched it spin.
I watched it. Trust me, we do not have the capabilities to pull something like that off.
I also don't care who wins. But I am very happy that Fun Dip won. So congratulations to whoever.
The bulk Fun Dip. You know what they're going to use those shot glasses for? They're going to fill it with Fun Dip. They're just going to dump a big shot of Fun Dip right in their mouth.
So please, if you're going to buy giant cases of Fun Dip, use our search bar and click on our Amazon link. It doesn't cost you an extra dime, but we get anywhere between 1% and 3%. It always depends, but there's usually $20 in there at the end of the month, and it helps keep the lights on a little bit. Pays for a ticket, pays for a beer and a half, that kind of thing. Keeps the wheels greased over here at the Sun Ranto Project. So let's get into some of this Brewers crap. I was hoping Eric Wheelo could come on the show just to piss everybody in Sun Ranto land off because we know how much you like him. But he was unfortunately unavailable. Maybe he will come and rub it in after we get swept up at Milwaukee, and all our dreams of winning the division will be dashed. But if the Cubs sweep, it'll only be 10 games out. Now you tell me that is an insurmountable lead? Just saying. You got a lot of games together left. Not a lot, but 5 more. I think 6 more. Anyway, they are 45 and 35. They are in first place. 46 and 35 now. And this is interesting. Their playoff odds, 61% only to make the postseason. Which I found interesting.
Make any sense at all. That's some Cardinals bias.
Yeah,
garbage there.
And only 1.1% chance to win the World Series, which I pretty much agree with. I was going to give Eric Wheelo shit about that if he came on the show. And the Cubs have played him tough. They had the first series of the year against him. They're 5-5 against him. They've been outscored only by 8 runs. The Brewers, I guess they're not cheating this year. They play slightly better on the road. and they had a 12-15 in June. They lost a bunch of games in a row, but they've been playing better recently. That was early June and they lost 8 in a row back then.
I think that's when the Cardinals jumped into first place and then for a little bit. But yeah, it feels like they're playing they're playing better now. It kills me though that the Cubs are 5-5 against the Brewers. We're 2-1 against the Red Sox. We're 2-1 against the Braves, but aren't we like 2-6 against the Pirates or some shit like that?
We're like beat the Pirates,
2-4 against the Reds. Like we can't beat these like terrible teams at the bottom of the standings.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot that's pretty similar about these teams' offenses. Like they're 8th in OPS, so they're slightly better than us. We're 12th in the majors. They're 3rd in homers. That's where that OPS number is going to come from. Cubs are 18th, so they're not really scoring their runs as much that way. They're a little below average. The Brewers are 6th in walks. Cubs are 8th. The Brewers have the 5th most strikeouts. The Cubs have the 7th most strikeouts. They're both like at the top of the league is stealing bases, so that's part of their game too. But once again, the Brewers are 8th in runs scored, and the Cubs are 14th. So that's what's gonna screw you right there, because like even though there's a lot of similarities, you're just not getting the runs across.
Yeah, there's that one similarity that one thing that's not similar, and that's just runners in scoring position
and making them cross home plate.
Yeah. Oh, and RBI.
And really, here's the main reason why they're in first place. It's the pitching. Both their overall staff and their bullpen is a full run better than the Cubs in ERA. And, our bullpen's just taken so much work this year. It's like, they're always in the game in the 5th. So it's just like we got the more innings than anybody else, which is why we've given up the most homers and have the most strikeouts. But it's because we have all the innings, and also we're giving up a lot of homers. We're like have the 5th worst ERA, team ERA in the bullpen. It's not great. Anyway, they're definitely beat us in that category, the pitching. Defensively, the Cubs and Brewers are actually tied for 8th in errors, and the Cubs defensive efficiency ratio, or 7th worst in the major leagues right now. And that does not surprise me either. They're kicking it around too much still. That
means there's 22 teams better than them, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's a lot of teams.
So, and then in this, let's see, we got, the weather. Well, it doesn't matter. They got a dome, but it is going to rain. So if you're looking to be out there, it's going to rain tomorrow.
Which if you don't know, when it rains up in Milwaukee, they close the dome, but there's no real air conditioning. And when it rains, it's muggy as all shit, right? And
awful. Guys
like Bill Sugas almost die.
Yeah, because it's going to be 86 degrees and muggy. And so we'll see what happens. I mean, yeah, I would imagine this roof is maybe they open it if it's not too rainy, but 85% chance of rain. Looks like it's going to rain. Then a 40% chance on Tuesday when it cools down. And Wednesday for the day game looks beautiful. 72 degrees, partly sunny, partly cloudy, however you want to consider that. Game 1 is going to be Justin Steele versus Eric Lauer. Steele has a 339 earned run average. Lauer has a 402, which means we win. No, 3:10 in the afternoon for 4th of July. This is a rematch of April 30th where the Cubs lost 9-1 and Lauer K'd 11. So that's not fun. But we did beat him at Wrigley. We got 3 runs, although 2 were earned, and he only lasted 4, and he gave up 3 through 4.1 as well. Wilson and Gomes homered off him, but the Cubs only have a 592 OPS off of Eric Lauer in 77 plate appearances, so it's not great. Steele, he's faced the Brewers 3 times, including that game where he got beat 9-1. And Cubs won 2 of the games, though, that Steele started against the Brewers. He went 4 through – he gave up 4 through 3 and 3 through 5. So it hasn't been great. Last time he went 5 and gave up only 1 against Cincy. Yelich and Adames have hit him pretty well, but overall they only got a 596 OPS against. So maybe this will be. I mean, Steele pitched well last time against the Reds. There was 5.
Steele seems to be able to. He seems like that solid number 4, right? Like he's going to give up a couple of runs or whatever, but he's going to get through 6. And you're going to feel good
5.
about. 5, 6.
I would
don't
say.
know.
I don't know how many 6s he's got under his belt this year.
I thought he had a couple. Maybe I'm wrong.
Let me see.
It's an ass stat. I don't follow his innings pitched all that often.
He's got.
I know that
2 7s and 1 6.
Yeah. See, come on, man.
And his 7s are from June, so he's getting all stretched out. So, but I think he's good for a solid 5.
I thought he was getting through some games and he's given up 2 runs, and there seems to be a lot of walks, a lot of hits, but he dances out of the fire a little bit. So
he got his butt kicked in Pittsburgh. And but other than that, you'd have to go back to May 26th to find another clunker against Cincinnati. Ooh, they're shooting off fireworks. So Steele's gonna go out there. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, this is like the battle of the number 4s. This kind of is a toss-up game about who's going to win this one.
Yeah,
I don't have a real feeling for this one. Game 2 is going to be Kyle Hendricks. This is a night game on Tuesday night. He's 4-6 with a 4.76 versus Seinfeld's Jason Alexander, who's 2-0 with a 3.82.
I thought he played for the Yankees.
Yeah, he got traded apparently. This is a rematch of June 1st at Wrigley, and the Cubs won this one in the 10th with the Morel sacrifice fly, if you remember that game. Kyle has 14.2 innings against the Brewers this year.
I can tell you I don't remember that game because I shut it off after the 9th.
14.2 innings pitched. He's given up 10 runs against Milwaukee. Not very good. Over 3 games, he gave up 6 runs in Milwaukee. That's the worst start of the 3. The last time, though, he was good. 2 runs on 6 hits against Cincinnati. As far as their guy goes, Alexander, we played him. Cubs beat him 4-3, and he gave up only 2 earned, 3, and he lasted 7. 3 total, lasted 7. That was his first Major League Baseball game. They've been using him out of the pen lately. He gave up 2 runs in 2 innings pitched last time against Pittsburgh, so it wasn't great. He's a young guy, so we're facing their 4 and 5, and then they're 1.
So they've been using him out of the pen lately, but they're going to start him in this game. I don't know if you looked up why that might be or what's.
Well, Freddie Peralta's hurt. I mean, they've had injuries.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. In fact, I'll bring these up. I do have some of the injuries. Yeah, Freddie Peralta's hurt. Adrian Hauser's hurt. He went down on. They sent him down on July 2nd to the IL.
Yeah, literally yesterday.
Hunter Renfroe is hurt. Tyrone Taylor is hurt. So they're getting to that part of the. Miguel Sanchez, a reliever, is hurt. So. Yeah, and that's what that's kind of what I wanted to hit on. They're a little bit banged up. So are we.
Well.
But anyhow, Adrian Sampson, this game's at 1:10 in the afternoon, 3:38 versus Corbin Burns, 2:36. After this game, if you're an aged person, you can go on the field and walk around and do the senior stroll.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They always do this shit for little kids who have dreams and their whole lives out ahead of them, and you want to give them, inspire them to do all the things in their lives. Fuck those kids. Let's get some old people out there and let them shuffle around now. Do they get to walk the bases, or do they
they don't get to run the bases. They have to go out onto the warning track. I think.
The warning track. So I've done this with little leagues before out in at Coors Field. It is cool, but we did it before the game. These old people, it is going to take it should be a race. It will take hours for them to get through this.
Dress them in the sausages. Why not?
All the old people who do the senior stroll get a sausage costume.
So not many people have seen Adrian Sampson. He went out there, gave up. We've already talked about him giving up the 5 runs, 4 earned against Boston. Narvaez is the only one that's seen him. Omar Narvaez, he's 2 for 10. Like, there's really nothing to look at. And then Corbin Burns, Cubs have faced him twice, including opening day. The Cubs won both of these baseball games. So he's given up 5 runs through 12 innings pitched. We've gotten to Burns. He's their best pitcher. And so that's good to see.
And now we're in his head. Now he's just like, why can't I beat this shit team?
Well, he certainly beat the Pirates. That was the game where they won 19-2, and he gave up 1 run on 1 hit against Pittsburgh. It was a home run. That's all he gave up the entire game. And then,
but how long did he pitch in that game, though?
I think he went 7. I want to say. I have it up. Well, let me.
Gotta love the new baseball.
6.
We're up by double digits, but yeah.
100
I mean,
pitches.
I guess you rest him now. I mean, it does make sense to me, but
100 pitches, and that's what he does every time. Like, his top is 113, and that was he got knocked out of that game in the 5th against Philadelphia. That was his top pitches. So he was just out there struggling. He did but he'll strike you out. He's got 11 twice this year. He's got 10 3 times this year. A bunch of 9s and 8s. So yeah, he's good. He's been good against us, but we beat him. So let's beat him again. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, bro. You know what I mean? Let's beat him. So
the analysis you've been looking for all night.
Let's beat Corbin Burns. We did it before. Let's do it again. I mean, as I said, if we sweep this, we're 10 out. You're sniffing the division now. You just are. Somebody said in the chat the other day, it's like, watch, they get back into this race. They're like 5 games out at the trade deadline, and they trade Contreras. that is what will happen. They'll be 5 games out, and they'll trade him. They will.
Yeah. Oh, and
I don't see that happening either. By the way,
so frustrating. Okay, so
I got an announcement.
Well, were we going to go through? Were you going to do another commercial? We're going to skip the second commercial.
Let's skip. We already did the Amazon. Use our Amazon search bar. Use our StubHub links. It's still the cheapest way into the ballpark right now. So
okay, well,
Sunranto StubHub, Sunranto Amazon, shopping, all that stuff. You know what to do.
The one other thing we haven't really talked about yet that I just wanted to, and sorry I didn't throw this in the notes. Jason Hayward's knee.
Oh yeah, he's
now on the IL, and it sounds like they haven't done the imaging yet. So right now it's just a complaint, but apparently he's been dealing with it for a little while, and this is the kind of thing that I can see them putting him on the 60-day, and we don't see him again. And the reason I was thinking about this was because Kaplan was asking if we'll ever see Hayward in uniform again, like on the field again for the Cubs.
It's a fair question. I mean, I don't see. I mean, David Ross is talking like he loves playing him, and that he has loyalty to him, which is annoying to everybody.
Which is probably why the Cubs training staff were like, his knees hurt.
Yeah, you got to
get out of here, Rossi.
Hey, maybe there's some consternation between the front office and Rossi, and if there is, Rossi will be out on his ass because we
know how that goes. Yeah.
So, but well, I mean, this next month should be interesting to see. Like, can the Cubs climb back in, keep playing like they are? I mean, we're gonna see because they're gonna go play LA, and after this, and it feels like when
and they played
the Yankees.
Didn't they play well against the Dodgers last time we saw them? I feel like they had. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It's so hard to.
We beat the Braves. We beat the Padres. We beat the Braves.
Yeah.
We looked like fools against the Yankees. That's
God. That Yankees series, that stretch of games there, and then with the Orioles and then the Yankees. Like, I seriously thought this team might never win again.
Yeah, it really did feel. I mean, baseball feels like that, especially when
it does feel like that sometimes. But yeah, it's. Oof. But yeah,
and no, we played the Dodgers like shit. We're 0-3 versus them. We got outscored 20-3. Yeah, so you're misremembering.
I think I was thinking about the Padres.
Yeah. Yeah,
There was a California team. We did good against, I think.
yeah. Oh man, they're really shooting them off out there. Poor pets, your poor dogs out there. Why do you do it to them? So, all right, announcements. I already said about the declined credit cards. You may have one. If you're a Patreon supporter, please check it. If you do intend on continuing to support us, we really appreciate it. Patreon.com/sunranto. It's how we pay for everything. It really is, because the $20 of Amazon doesn't pay for too much, but I freaking love it. And congratulations. Please let me know if you were the one that bought the Fun Dip, because you won Bleacher Bum Band shot glasses for being so awesome. And then the next Bleacher Bum Band show, we're looking at maybe an August 7th, which is a Sunday. The reason we're going to do a Sunday post-game show, which is because the Cubs bullpen wants to come, and maybe like Ian Happ and stuff like that. Like Bleacher Jeff's talking to a lot of these guys, and they really want to come and check out the band and hang out, and they have to do it on a party night, which is a party night is a date. There's no travel day, end of a series, day game with a night game the next night, not necessarily an off day, but like they can go out and, have a couple. So that's what we're looking at, maybe August 7th. So circle that on your calendar. It is not confirmed. I don't really know if the bullpen's going to show up,
You right. I was just going to say, and no guarantees on any Cubs players, but Jody Davis was at the last one.
Yeah.
And there have been plenty of Cubs players who have showed up. I mean, if you don't go, you won't be there for when sexy 66-year-old Jody Davis shows up.
So, and so let's TFC out of here. These flexing cubes. What cubes do you want to ridicule or praise?
I have one, and it was in. So this is it starts out with a Cardinals fan bitching a little bit, kind of bitching. This is on the stock standard Reddit thread where people were talking about that dude's thing. And it's a Cardinals fan. As a Cardinals fan, Wrigley is iconic and always a pleasant experience until the P troughs. But don't worry. Tio Hidi 123 decided to defend Wrigley's good honor by saying, dude, there's nothing more glorious than hanging dong with a bunch of baseball lovers.
It's true.
I love when people say something even dumber in defense of the thing that they're doing. That's great.
So here's mine. This is kind of a good old fashioned TFC. IL 424 said, there is no fucking excuse that a team in fucking Chicago playing in a division with 4 mid to small market teams should be in a position to start their second full-on multi-fucking year rebuild in 10 years. Full stop. It's embarrassing, even in a city full of shitty organizations. So, I mean, I don't know what prompted that, because we actually won that game.
Right.
No, it was today. It was today, I guess. I think it was this morning. I think it was before the game. So I think I screenshotted this morning. So, yeah. So we had won, and then he's like,
it's possible it could have been in response to, like Jed Hoyer talking about how, like, well, we saved money this year, so we're going to spend it next year. That kind of shit that's been going around. I think Crane Kenny said it too. It's like, guys, no, it's not about saving $12 this week so you have an extra $12 next week. You're the Chicago fucking Cubs.
Yeah,
you always have $12.
Yeah. So let's do chance for a chance, and let's give away a chance postcard. I love the contest shows; they're so much fun. So, but we do chance every time. So we're gonna draw, and I'm gonna send a chance postcard to whoever wins this one. And here we go. Rich Blomquist, you, sir, are the winner. Congratulations. I've had some new winners lately. That feels good.
Yeah. Rich just got richer.
Yeah. So, Rich, I will be sending you a chance postcard. Look for it in the mail. I believe Rich is also a Patreon supporter. So thank you very much, Rich, for supporting us there. And
so now Danny knows what to write on that postcard. It's going to be, Rich, please check to make sure that your credit card has not expired.
So let's do a temperature check and get out of here.
Today we're going to talk about taking a rectal temperature. Do we have to take it rectally? Yes.
Why is she so excited about that?
Well, you know, some people get excited about butt play.
I don't know how many times I've seen it. Every single time it makes me like, God. Perfect drop. Love it. I'm going to go 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3, because I think the Cubs are playing pretty well right now. They're doing some things that I like. They've got some of the young guys out there. And also, I think if they do win 2, I think that Rossi will just, do some dumb shit so that they won't win 3. Like he'll just give up on a game just for no reason at all. Like
he'll play Hayward even though he's on the IL.
Play Hayward's hat out there.
Tommy Pham will slap him. So yeah, there's our show. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back probably Wednesday night with our next one after this one's all over. And let's take you out with a little no fighting in the bleachers. How about that?
All right, we can do that.
Spagog.
Spagog!
There's no fighting in the bleachers! There's no fighting in the bleachers! There's no fighting in the bleachers!
There is no fighting in the bleachers. What did your mama teach you? There is no fighting in the bleachers. So take that shit outside. There is no fighting in the bleachers. What did your mama teach you? There is no fighting in the bleachers. So take that shit outside. And acting like a punk and watch him hit and run and having lots of fun and show him all your love and celebrate and suffering. But you cannot fight, don't care who you don't like. Let's all have fun tonight. There is no fighting in the bleachers. What did your mama teach you? There is no fighting in the bleachers. So take that shit outside. There is no fighting in the bleachers. So take that shit outside. You can catch a ball and scream about a call and be right on the wall and be into a drop. And you can buy a dog and sing a couple songs, but just keep on a walking if you're in a rolling. No, you cannot fight. Don't care who you don't like. Let's all have fun tonight. So take that shit out. No fighting in the bleachers. What did your mama teach you? There is no fighting in the bleachers. So take that shit out. No fighting in the bleachers. What did your mama teach you? There is no fighting in the bleachers. So take that shit out. No fighting in the bleachers. What did your mama teach you? There is no fighting in the bleachers. So take that shit out.
Don't record me! Don't record me, man! Hey, put your phone away! My Ulysses up there! Oh, yeah. Yeah, buddy! Walk away, guys. Put your phone away. You're on private property. You don't have permission to videotape anyone. You don't put it away. No, you don't. You put it away right now. There's no fighting in the bleachers! There's no fighting in the bleachers! There's no fighting in the bleachers!